Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to your coverage of the WPC Ace Dota 2 League group stages. This is our third to last day of competition for the group stages, so we are definitely winding down, and this is going to be our last game for today. It's Game 2, Vici Gaming versus LGD.int, and Vici Gaming currently find themselves at a 1-0 lead in this best out of 2. Again, a reminder, I guess, that there is a slim chance that if Vici Gaming win 2-0 today and they 2-0 their final match, and IG managed to drop a game against WPCA, that they could take their top 2 spot, though that does seem a little bit unlikely. Anyway, hopefully Synderin is here. Yes, okay, he's just arrived, so it's my pleasure to welcome back Synderin to the broadcast.
Sorry about that.
LGD International's turn to ban.
I'm back, and yeah, it looks like game 2 is well underway. So we both agreed before the game that we were expecting probably 1-1 to be the most likely outcome. What do you feel like LGD needs to change from that first game in order to reach that?
10 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure. I feel that they ended up with a pretty comfortable lineup. I have liked to see Misery on the roaming active supports a little bit more. I think the one style that LGD.int have run quite a bit, which is sort of 4 heroes doing stuff while Black farms. It's not 4 protect 1 really, because that has a much more defensive connotation, I guess. But when you have a roaming support for Freedom or for Misery that can be applying pressure somewhere, and just in general, I think hold on to your tier 1s longer, those are the games that LGD.int do tend to win. They don't really deal too well with the super fast early aggressive push. And they're going to pick up the Nature's Prophet again this time around. They will have the Elder Titan, so they've got some good defensive spam.
10 seconds.
But I kind of want to see Vici Gaming maybe go for like a Pugnus strat, though. We'll have to see.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Synderin?
I got some really sick robot on you there.
Oh man. Should we try again, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's try to redo the call really quickly. Maybe it's gonna help.
Danes. Testing.
Right, so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully things are better now. It
hopefully.
seems more or less random. Like sometimes it's running smoothly for 30 minutes straight, and then sometimes there's these crazy 15-second spikes that we get. But
the mysteries of Skype.
Deal with it.
Like with.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
So, what do you feel about LGD's response to this? I think it's what I said yesterday when we cast as well, that there are generally 2 ways that teams will try to deal with a loss. Either they're like, our strategy was fine, we just played it poorly, so we're going to do the same thing, or they mix it up and they're like, okay, we have to try to adapt, we have to try to change something, because obviously something wasn't working. And it seems like their solution here has been to ban out the 2 tanky heroes that Vici Gaming ran last game with Timbers on Dragon Knight, and they've taken the Elder Titan themselves that Vici took last game, and then they stick to their guns with Nature's Prophet. Whereas Vici has now got their hands on the Alchemist and the Pugna.
Yeah,
you said that LGD's biggest chance is to hold their tier 1s. Do you think at least Elder Titan is good for that?
Yeah, he's got good defensive spam. But like I said, I think the biggest problem is when they lose their tier 1s early, they just don't have that farming space, and it can get pretty difficult from there. But we do have the Crystal Maiden here for LGD.int, so I'm looking forward to hopefully a roaming game for Misery here.
Yeah, and I think it's also LGD's strength that they want to do something in the early game. If they build their own advantage and they start getting up to those Midases that they love to play with, if it's the same point as in the last game, if you're already leading and you start getting more and more gold accumulated with the Midas, then you can basically snowball into an incredible late gamer, even with a Crystal Maiden. And right now, I think LGD has definitely built a lineup that, for now at least, doesn't focus as much on only being able to do stuff in lanes, but also has the mobility with the Crystal Maiden as a good roaming early support. And I think that was the main factor holding them back in the previous game, was that their supports just couldn't move. Lich and Windrunner are terrible early roamers. They don't really provide much in ganks. And, at least it seems like LGD have, I could say, gone a little bit more back to their roots, which from the start of
5
the
seconds
organization, the
remaining.
previous LGD Gaming International team, when they had a huge amount of success right in the start, they played early aggression with like
Radiant
Chen,
team pick.
Vengeful Spirit, and just early rotations and Shadow Demon, those kinds of heroes that can make moves early on. And now they're gonna even follow up with a Mirana. I like this a lot more for LGD Gaming with the way they play as a team. I think this speaks more to their strength, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a hero that can fight early if Vici Gaming are really forcing things. Though it looks like Vici
LGD
do go back for the Weaver here, so they're getting that split push element as well to this kind of team fighting lineup that they have. I am expecting to see the Alchemist again as a support, so we're probably still looking for an offlaner for them, more than
10
likely.
seconds
But
remaining.
I guess this is more of LGD.int's pace. I think they're okay
5
at dealing with
seconds
split push.
remaining.
The Mirana is maybe...
Radiant
I'm
team
expecting
ban.
Black to maybe be playing it here, unless we're going to be seeing some roaming Mirana or something like that. Just trying to think of who's playing what. And I think the other thing for Game 1 was that LGD maybe got a little bit caught off by the Chen. We haven't seen as much of Chen
10
of
seconds
late, and I think a lot of that is to do with he's being telegraphed a bit more now by
5
bounty hunter
seconds
bans
remaining.
and things like that. So Vici Gaming managing to take him last and still incorporate him really well into their
Reserve
lineup, I think
time.
that caught LGD a little bit off guard.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It also wasn't really a pick I saw coming in that last game, the Chen, and it worked out wonderfully for Vici Gaming. But the question is if LGD International won. Okay,
Yes.
never mind. I was,
Radiant team pick.
I was thinking they might want the Enchantress now that they banned the Bounty Hunter, but they're just banning it because Vici needs an offlaner, and it was going to be a hero causing them trouble. And then I thought maybe they could be running a jungler and go even more early rotation style with an aggressive jungler. But they're going to go for the Pudge, who I also feel like, again, good hero for LGD International the way they play. Needs a few levels, then plays hugely aggressive early on.
10 seconds remaining.
Really has a lot of setup here with the Sprout, the Crystal Maiden, the Arrow,
5
and
seconds
of course you can
remaining.
also just use the hook as the opener, but there's a lot of ways here to get kills, and Vici Gaming for the
Reserve
most
time.
part, really fragile heroes. You catch the Pugna, he's dead. You catch the Rubik, he's dead. You catch the Weaver and have any sort of true sight, he's dead as well. And I really like this pick for LGD, and it always makes for exciting games.
Yeah, so now we've got I think we've both got a little bit of sort of going on here, but now we've got Pudge and Mirana on the same team for LGDN. So this game is either going to be spectacular in terms of connecting all kinds of hooks and arrows, or Vici Gaming are just going to dodge everything and they're scratching our heads wondering what Pycat and Black are doing. But I'm always excited to see a Pudge. Always good fun. I guess a reminder for people, this is LGD.int's final game in the group stage of this event. They are guaranteed top 6 no matter what happens. If they do take this game off Vici, then they guarantee no matter what, Vici can't knock IG out of that number 2 spot. But looks like LGD are going to be putting on a little bit of a show. Not to say that Pudge isn't legit. I think their lineup is great. But maybe a bit more justification there. Anyway.
Yeah, and
10
the last pick from
seconds
Vici
remaining.
Gaming seems really, really good here. I think
5
that was the
seconds
best hero in the
remaining.
pool that they could get. Yeah.
I mean,
he
in
actually
the
got
West,
through all
that's
the way to
like...
the last.
In the
Yeah,
West, the Clockwork
generally a
is
first base.
very highly regarded at the moment. I think especially in the US, in the NA scene right now,
Prepare for battle.
he barely makes it through. Yeah, if he makes it through the first phase, that's a big surprise. But anyway, guys, welcome back. This is our final game of the evening for the WPC Ace Dota 2 League group stages. It's LGD.int versus Vici Gaming, and LGD.int are down 1-0 in this best of 2. I'm Biscuit, he's Cinderin, and let's get ourselves to our lineup. So on Vici Gaming, we've got RRTK on the Clockwork, played a great Timbersaw in the last game, so looking forward to some more play from him. We've got Super on our Weaver, we've got the stand-in, ZCD on the Pugna, Fenrir is going to be on the Rubik, and finally we have FY on our Alchemist.
And for LGD International, it's going to be Misery on his famous Crystal Maiden. Then we have indeed got Black on the Mirana, so going to be playing that as a
30
carry. Pycat
seconds
will be
to
playing
battle.
Pudge in the mid lane, and that leaves Brax on Nature's Prophet and X Freedom on the Elder Titan. Now, one thing I want to point out about this last pick Clockwork before we get to it, I think he was banned in the first phase in the first game by LGD. I could be wrong. I think it was them banning in the first phase. Clockwork is such a good pick here because first of all, he's he's a nice hero to have against Nature's Prophet in
The
general.
battle begins.
Because of the hook shot catches him off from a long range, and it's harder to split push with Prophet when you need to be scared that Clockwork is there, although, of course, when you transition later on into the game, Prophet will outfarm the Clockwork and be doing more as the offlane hero. And it's also very hard to play Pudge against this hero. Because whenever you feel like you have an opening, the hookshot can interrupt you, Battery Assault prevents you from using your Dismember in the fight, and the cogs are also generally annoying against for a hero like Pudge with a very low mana pool. So very intelligent pick for Vici, and a very ROTK-ish hero as well. Rambo style, and can get away with it.
Yeah, and I like this laning configuration. They actually end up putting the Weaver on mid, trading some hits with Pycat so far, but Misery roamed in, expecting to find, well, actually might just be able to kill Super outright. Didn't wait for the Shikuchi cooldown.
And it's already icing over.
Invis Rune picks up the first blood. If he didn't have the Invis, maybe doesn't grab that one. I was about to say, I like having the Weaver mid a little bit more than the Pugna. The Pugna's going to get roamed on by Crystal Maiden all game. The Weaver puts good pressure on the Pudge, and I guess has more of a chance of surviving to the CM, though not that time.
Yeah, this Invis Rune is really doing work for LGD already. This first blood is very important, because Pudge is a kind of hero who Weaver will have a really hard time in the lane, because Pudge's strengths are kind of negated by Weaver. Weaver's range, so Pudge can't really hit him, and Pudge needs heroes that don't have good mobility so he can stay on track with Rot, and Weaver negates all that, so really intelligent lane placement like you said. But since he got the first blood, he has his bottle, so now he can start farming with the hook, which is something we would generally see Dendi doing in this kind of lane, who's probably the world's most famous Pudge player, because he knows he can't get the kill, so might as well get whatever farm you can, get your levels, and then transition into a mid-game, or just not even mid-game, but early mid-game role with your level 6 or level 7 Pudge, and start making some moves. But maybe, with a smoke from CM, we could see another opportunity here. Misery's going to come in, he has sentries as well. This could be dangerous for Super right now.
And he's going to get hooked as well, he runs back, but now the Shikuchi cooling down, there goes the sentry, here comes the bite, double damage on Pycat as well. And Misery really on point with these roams, and this is really what we've come to expect from him on this Crystal Maiden. Good job by Pycat as well, landed the hook to start things off and tenderized the Weaver a little bit, but this is looking more like LGD.int this game, I have to say.
Yeah, they're getting a lot out of it when they have their Crystal Maiden, and what's so good for Misery in executing these ganks, and what's so good about Crystal Maiden in general, is that she's pretty self-sufficient as a roamer, because she has an entangle as well as a slow, or we should call it a root, I guess, the Frostbite. And when she gets that level 3 and has the Arcane Aura, sometimes we see Crystal Maidens getting in on level 2 and just having Frostbite, she can jungle on her own as a support and take the hard camp, which most other support heroes can't do in the game. It means he's going to get high levels very fast, and there's always going to be the threat for mid and the threat for top right now. The Crystal Maiden could be coming out of nowhere with high levels. I think ROTK has no idea this is coming. This could be another victim of Misery's Crystal Maiden right now.
Yeah. Brax is looking for the courier there, but we're going to focus on ROTK. Gets bitten, Misery out of mana, but the arrow is going to connect because of the cogs. ROTK trying to bottle up to survive, but Misery already off to a killing spree, and I would not be too surprised to see a Midas on this Crystal Maiden at some point with this kind of start that he's had. They are looking for Pycat mid.
At 3.5.
Oh, can they stun him? They get it up onto the high ground, but he's under the tower. Swarm comes in. Fenrir gets the lift. Looks like Pycat should be dead here for sure. No sips, nothing cheeky. Down he'll go. So, Vici Gaming, they do have to bring 2 heroes to the lane, but they do manage to pick up the kill on the Pudge. Nicely done, I would say.
Dire's middle
Is Brax still dealing with these creeps? Yes. He went for the courier between the tier 1 and the tier 2. Anyway.
About so much just yet is... Oh, sorry?
No, go for it, sorry.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it just yet, but Vici's late game potential lies completely on the Weaver, because they're running the Alchemist as a support, and Pugna is kind of a hero that falls off around the late game. But putting the Weaver mid and having it killed twice means that Vici's ability to transition into a late game scenario gets crippled really much here, whereas LGD International have a kill on Mirana, they have farming, they have Prophet starting to farm, and like you say, if Crystal Maiden goes for this kind of Midas build, they will really be able to snowball in this game, I feel. So this start definitely favoring them, and Vici's way back into this is probably going to be a well executed team fight around the Pugna.
Yeah, and also just hopefully Pugna bringing down some towers and being able to drag the Weaver back in here. So a lot of this is down to ZCD at this point. Pyket's going to throw another hook on mid, but not going to connect. I think they spotted Misery walking in here anyways, so Super is already playing back on the defensive. But yeah, I think it all comes down to the Pugna. Yes, the Clockwork might be able to set up the odd kill here and there, but they need the Pugna to live through the team fights, do some good damage, and they may be able to bring down a tower as well. I like what LGD are doing here. They've left Freedom to soak levels on the offlane while Brax is headed into the jungle. And that means that they're going to have a highly leveled Elder Titan ready to spam down these pushes. Oh, the Invis goes off. Super is going to get caught out mid. Leading with the Dismember. He's going to be able to time-lapse. They didn't use any of their disables, and there's a hook shot in from RTK. This is a disaster for LGD.int. They don't even get the suicide. Misery's going to go down to the Swarm. Double kill for RTK. That was about as bad as that could have gone if you are LGD.int. It looked like a perfectly set up kill using the Moonlight Shadow. No, I don't know what they missed. Either they didn't bite because Misery wanted to give the kill to the Pudge, or he didn't shift Q up the hook immediately, but something went wrong there, and Super managed just to survive. And now he's back at full HP as well, so he's doing alright for himself.
I think the Pudge was out of range for his rot while he was dismembering, so they didn't get the full damage off. I could be wrong on that, but when I looked in, it looked like he was dismembering him from a really high range. Which is a little bit surprising when they initiate with the Moonlight Shadow, because then he can basically just walk on top of the Weaver and dismember him, but something must have gone really wrong there, like you said, and Vici, that was exactly what they needed, and what a play from RTK. Two-man hook shot, perfect positioning there, and well-deserved, gets both of the kills.
Yeah, Fenrir comes in for the lift on Freedom, but there is some backup here. Pyket's gonna hook him back to the tower. Fenrir's already gone. Freedom getting focused, but still pretty tanky. RTK has joined the fight here. Cogs in 2, brings down 1. Pyket taking some big damage, and RTK still has a haste rune. Rank 4 Rocket Flare flies out. Pyket finished off by one more right click. RTK, another double kill for him. Super makes his way all the way down towards bot. They get the Swarm and the Urn Charge up on Misery. One more right click to finish him off. RTK, maybe a dive too far. Will he survive? Not quite. Big streak going the way of Black there. He's going to lob the arrow, but won't be able to find anything. And we have almost everybody converging on bot, but looks like Vici Gaming doing pretty well for themselves. Unfortunately, Brax wasn't quite level 6 for that, so didn't have a Nature's Wrath to contribute.
Yeah, that would have changed the whole outcome of that fight if he was level 6. They would have probably, maybe not even died a single hero, because Vici was kind of kiting them around with somewhat low HPs on the Pugna as well as the Clockwork for quite a bit. But they do end up coming out on top here, Vici, and with the start they had, I have to say this is a really good recovery from them, and a nice fight they end up getting off here at bottom. And the Pugna Ward was just doing work in that fight, and the Nether Blast. When these fights are extended, Pugna is one of the perhaps the strongest hero in the game 8 minutes in, if you get fights like these, because the enemy team are hurting themselves by casting spells, you didn't die, you get multiple Nether Blasts off, which is a huge damage nuke with a 5.5 second cooldown. I think Vici Gaming can be really pleased with the performance of their stand-in so far.
Yeah, FY gets hooked into the cogs there after RTK catches out Pycat. Misery in some trouble as well. ZCD, sorry, closing the gap, finishes him off with the blast. 2 more kills for Vici Gaming. And I feel that I have misspoken. I said, how much can RTK do as just the Clockwork in terms of setting up kills and dragging his team back into this game? He is playing out of his mind. And I mean, we say that a lot as casters, but this is quite a game from RTK so far. 2 double kills, he's been everywhere in pretty much every single kill, and now his team is doing very well as a result.
Yeah, they're even gonna have a 9-minute Mechanism Arcane Boots on this Pugna. And yeah, like I said, I really want to commend this stand-in on his play. When we see someone standing in for a team, it's often doesn't really sync too well with the team, or doesn't perform on the same level. But I really feel like ZCD has been doing very well in this game on the Pugna. In the previous game, his Elder Titan was very good too. And just seems like they have really good communication and coordination with this player, so very well done so far by him.
Yeah, and they seem to find really good stand-ins for themselves. Like, SYDM was really impressive, and yeah, I have to say that ZCD is making a name for himself here as well. LGD.int have smoked everybody, well, pretty much everybody aside from Black, because he's farming with his Midas. towards his bottom lane. Pugna walks out for a little bit of cheeky farm, but Vici do have RTK making their way down here. So LGD just looking for the initiation, but the hookshot's going to go in on top of Pycat. What can he do? He's going to put as much damage down into RTK as he can before he drops. ZCD walks in, pops the mech. RTK still alive as well. They get off the Decrepify. The right clicks won't finish him. Nicely played by the Pugna. Looks like Fenrir not quite so lucky. Does get punched to death by Freedom, but it's 3 for 1 so far. Arrow's going to fly in, connect on a creep, I think, in the midst of all of that. So I thought that the Pugna was dead for sure.
Crystal even buying back for the
and Crystal
completely wasted buyback here. Unless if they get in on Super here, but I don't know if they can perform this kill.
Yeah, do they have
definitely not going to see it coming. Maybe perfect sync here.
Yeah, there's the Arrow freezing field, but he's able to time lapse through the bite. So Arrow stun duration not enough. And as you said, it's a root, it's not a stun, so Super is going to be fine to escape, and looks like it is going to be a wasted buyback for Misery. And the cooldown on that freezing field. Super's not impressed.
Yeah, the only way to get that kill is to get a longer range arrow to set up with so they can get the freezing field off better, but now Misery basically just... Misery bought back and didn't get anything out of his rebuy. He's basically walking around circles, dropping his items right now, starting to do taunts on the ground. Seems to me like he's given up.
Here's the thing, you're Misery. You started the game with the first blood, you set up 2 more kills, you're on a killing spree, you're thinking, okay, this is a Midas game, let's get the BKB, let's get the Hex, let's do a repeat of my famous Crystal Midas. On top lane, Pycat is going to be able to get a hook on FY as the tier 1 falls bot. And then you die, you lose your streak, and Vici Gaming have an 8-minute mech. And then you buy back and you don't get the kill anyway. Hookshot in on top of Freedom, RTK continuing to make plays. Freedom, no chance to escape. So I don't know, I can appreciate what Misery is going through here, I think. And Fenrir steals freezing.
It's a really big shame for LGD.int. Because they started out so well, and now it almost seems like just 1 or 2 more bad fights in the game is kind of over. Because if you look at the golden XP graph, you see in the first few minutes a bit of an advantage going the way of LGD International, and since then it's just been a landslide. It's almost 7,500 gold at 12 minutes in, 4,000 on the experience for Vici Gaming, and I have to say the MVP so far is going to go to the Clockwork. It's, like you said, really been setting up so much, but these setups aren't good enough unless if they have the Pugna backing up, but the way their lineup syncs up is that Clockwork starts the fight, and if LGDN tries to fight back, they take so much damage from fighting back that they simply can't take the fights, and this is why Clockwork and Pugna together is such an amazing combination of heroes.
Yeah, RTK unfortunately just a little ways away from having another hookshot up. Looks like going in probably not the right decision either. LGDN have a lot of people here, Arrow flies out, but just a little bit optimistic from Black. Super is all the way over here. So, I guess this is what happens when the Pugna just gets out of hand. You win 1 or 2 team fights back to back with this kind of lineup as Vici Gaming, and LGD find themselves in a very tough situation. And even, especially the mech, as early on as it was. Super gets hooked mid.
They're gonna get Super.
It is nighttime, so I guess it was just inside the fog. Nicely done by Pycat. I was watching that the whole time. It just didn't expect it to happen though. Vision is pretty reduced at this point.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And this, I think this is the comeback for LGD. I don't mean they got the comeback. This is the way to get it if they can get it.
More Pudge pickoffs.
It's with Pudge hooks. Yeah, it's the only way because they can't take team fights. We've seen it 2 times in a row now. They try to take the fight, they lose. They're a mech behind. They're playing against Pugna Ward. It's just not gonna happen. So unless if they can fight these pickoffs here and there, they're in a lot of trouble. Speaking of pickoffs, RTK gonna get Freedom up top together with FY, and Black is gonna get out of there. But it's a tall order right now for LGD, I have to say, because all the pressure is kind of on Pycat and Black to hit some really good skill shots with the hook and arrow, and if they don't, they're just gonna slowly lose their mana.
Yeah, and Black is sort of his hand has been forced at this point. He has to start participating in the fights with his team. He can't really just sit back and split push and try and drag the game out, because if he's over in a lane and Vici Gaming spot it, they're just going to dive under your tower. RTK is going to hookshot in, and even the duration of your TP is going to be a detriment at this point to Black. So he sort of has to come and participate in fights with his Midas, which is not what he wants to be doing. And now he's just going to be forced to double tap his TP back to the fountain as Super with a haste rule. The last little bit of a haste rune spots him out.
Attack.
But he's at the fountain, so Vici Gaming just swarm this tier 2 and take it for free, I guess. LGD now looking for a hook. And they've got the Moonlight Shadow.
It's the Moonlight Shadow. Is there detection on Vici Gaming?
Super again is able to time-lapse out. GCD gets 4 steps back to safety. Well, by himself, is going to pop the mech off. He's still just barely alive, being healed up. Needs to dodge this Earth Splitter. Will be able to do so. Pycat looks for another hook. Just barely splits it there. Hook goes out from Fenrir. I don't know how he stole it, but he actually dragged back Super away from Pycat. So not the most impressive pudge play from our Rubik here, but FY lobs the stun towards Misery. He's going to go down as well. Black considers the arrow, but just forced to leap out of the way as the hook flies from Fenrir. 2-0. Vici Gaming, the Pugna is back and healthy, and Brax is just looking to intercept the creep wave at this point to prevent Vici Gaming taking the tower. But another big win for Vici, and LGD, it's going to take a lot of hooks at this point, I think, to turn things around.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of lag on Sky right now. I don't know if you can tell, but I hope you can hear what I'm saying right now, else we're gonna have to try again.
No, seems okay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, so, well, Vici Gaming, they do get a 2-0 like you said. They don't get the tier 2 tower, but just seems like it's the same story over and over again. Even with that initiation from LGD.int, beautiful time-lapse speed coming out from Super actually keeps him alive there. And then the fight, the moment they've used the hook and they don't get a kill for it, they just get overwhelmed by the teamfight potential of Vici Gaming with the Clockwork Pugna and the Alchemist Acid Spray. In the middle of that, Rubik even stole the hook, so they have that at their disposal for another 1.5 minutes, and I'm hoping we get to see Fenrir making a little bit of a flashy play with that. Yeah, it's looking really hard right now for LGD.int, but the way to go is to split push and try to get pickoffs, like I said, and they're trying bottom. RTK gonna miss the hook shot, he's gonna get hooked himself. Dismember can't go off though because the battery assault. This is gonna backfire for LGD.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Brax trying to run out of here. He's just gonna pop the Shadow Amulet and be able to TP out, in fact. No anti-invis. So, nicely done, but that was not what they were looking for at all. Top lane,
back up top.
Black gets stunned by the concoction. Super with the double damage, working him down. We'll be able to leap a short ways away, but one more Ragnarok is gonna finish it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, the 1-1 seems kind of far off at this point. It seems they do get a good initiation on the bottom there, courtesy of Misery though. Brax is porting in as well with the Sprout. Elder Titan Ultimate gonna whiff a bit, but doesn't matter. They're still gonna get RTK with the Pudge and 2 big kills here, going the way of LGD International. They desperately needed that, and yeah, it just in a way it feels a lot like Game 1, where LGD also bounced back with these couple of kills, but they don't get the collateral. It's always Vici getting the collateral. LGD are playing with Profit, and they haven't taken a tower at 18 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, like we said, down to the power of the Clockwork. He's kind of afraid to split push at this point. If RTK is off the map, you're not really safe. And there are other heroes that could be jumping you as well. If you get Concoction stunned, if you get lifted, you're probably just dead. I thought that they might be able to get this tier 1 bot, but just playing it safe, Vici Gaming respawning already. And LGD, I guess they've still got a Prophet. They've still got 2 Midas. So maybe just sitting back, holding on, land some more hooks, win some more teamfights as a result. There's a chance. I'm not saying it's a good chance, but there's maybe still a chance here. We've got a gem picked up as well for Freedom, so trying to increase that fear factor a little bit for Vici Gaming, preventing them seeing where Pycat is, and maybe you land a hook, or just keep them afraid as a result. More Skype lag? Or...
And with the Lincoln Sphere now up in Weaver as well, that's a really big pickup, because now Pudge can't really combo him anymore. He can land the hook, but won't get off the Dismember, and it's really difficult for LGD to lock him down because they don't really have that many counters. They have Sprout and they have Frostbite to stop the Lincolns, and Dismember, of course. We'll see if they can execute it here on Super with the Moonlight Shadow. These Moonlight Shadows ganks have really failed the last couple of times, and looks like this is not going to be an exception. Maybe though, hookshot's going to fail. Ults from Elder Titan, and time lapse on Mark again. So I think LGD is going to lose 1, and that's it.
Yeah. Brax is getting a little bit done on top lane as all of this is happening, but there is a fortification and there's likely at least one TP on Vici Gaming. Yeah, FY is heading up. Could have actually started channeling the concoction. Maybe he does have a blink dagger to be able to chase after Brax, but no anti-invis. So you are gambling that the Prophet hasn't used his the Prophet has used his Shadow Blade. A little bit of a sleep for Vici on mid, but not too much follow-up. They are going to try and catch somebody here. Arrow flies in, but not going to end up connecting on the Weaver. The Alchemist is still top defending, but LGD.int considering whether or not they can actually even take this 4v5. Super's going to be saved by the mech. Pycat goes down. Barak's trying to run out of here as well. But they get the tier 2, they get a kill, and all of this is pretty much 4v5 the whole time.
And once again, they tried to get the Weaver with the Pudge, but they just couldn't execute the kill. The Lincoln Sphere disallowing Pycat from using Dismember, and then he just goes out with Shakuchi. Missed hookshot from RTK as well, tried to get Misery. He does have the Ag Scepter already on clock though, so he can just throw around hooks like doesn't even have a cooldown on this.
Players here.
Freedom's bot, as is Misery, but if they get spotted here, nice ward placed back behind the tower, so RTK fully set up for this hookshot. Super just sitting forward with his illusions. Black walks into the trees here. They're going to spot Fenrir off to the side, but RTK just looking for the initiation. They get the sleep out onto Super. The tower's already gone though, so LGD.int just need to cut their losses, I think. Super ends up blocking the hook there. Pycat wants to get back into this fight because Black has jumped in along with Brax. They finish off the Rubik, but that's all they can grab, and they do end up losing their carry Mirana. So, 1 for 1, Brax. Can he get the courier? Probably. There we go. Nicely done by Brax. But RTK. Hookshot's ready to go again. FY actually looks like he's gonna end up stunning himself here, but Pycat not in position to hook him out and punish him for that. So, just the trade, another tower for Vici, and continuing their march towards closing out this game, I would say.
Yeah, already 5 digits on the XP and gold at 20 minutes is scary to play against, and now that LGD International don't have any tier 2 towers left, it is really the replay of the previous game in a sense, in how the game progresses. LGD try to take some fights, they get outnumbered, or they lose the fights, and then they don't get the towers. And now that Vici Gaming has taken all the towers, they have full map control, and even with the Nature's Prophet, the split push from the Prophet is not going to be enough when he has this much to get through, and Vici can pretty much control the entire map. He has to be scared of getting hooked by Clockwork, he has to be scared of the Alchemist with a Blink Dagger. It's nigh impossible for Brax to play what he needs to do right now.
Yeah, and LGD, they pick the Prophet really highly, but these last 2 games I feel like we haven't really felt the impact of it, and especially when you have a carry player like Black who loves going for the Midas, loves farming up as well. It seems like LGD go for this split push a lot, but these last 2 games we haven't really seen it work at all. It was looking a little bit more promising this game with the supports getting off to a good start, but as soon as the team fights actually began, that's where things really started having problems. FY, he's also got some problems bot, but still somehow able to pop his ultimate there. Is still going to be brought down by the hook, but Vici Gaming looking for some pickoffs of their own. RTK, hookshot ready to go. Freedom sitting right on top of the flare. LGD.int actually still just hanging around here. Throw out an arrow.
All perfect placement.
Oh, can they get anything out of this? Pycat's coming in. He's gonna look for the hook and the Decrepify. Well, not gonna help him. RTK jumps in the middle of everyone here. Got a TP in from Brax. There's 2 heroes already dead. Can Vici Gaming pull this one out? RTK. They've got the Nether Ward at their backs as well. Hookshot cooling down in just a second. Misery. TP's home. RTK looking for the angle here. What can he get? Actually hooks forward onto Super. Okay, so that not the best execution, but they do get at least the 1 kill in the trade. Super gets arrowed. Black. He's found his form here, but there's going to be a hookshot in from RTK one more time. Brack's going to go down. RTK's got his gem up his sleeve as well. So a long chase, but does end up being a 2 for 2, and Super finds himself right at the door to LGD.int's base.
Out of my way!
It really shows a lot about the situation in the game as well as Vici's confidence. They chose to initiate into a fight 3-on-5 and actually won it. There was only Weaver, Pugna, and Clockwork, but it's enough at this point because if just one or two of LGD's key abilities are on cooldown, in that case it was the hook from Pudge that was already used on
Dire's
Rubik,
middle tower
they
is
can
under
actually
attack.
choose to just go in and take the fight. They know that Weaver's almost unkillable right now for LGD because of their hero lineup. And Clockwork is so tanky that he's almost impossible to bring down, and then when there's another ward on top of all of that, it's actually possible for Vici to take a fight like that 3 on 5, which is a scary thought.
Yeah, and with Clockwork, you know, being so tanky and being as far ahead as, like you said, how do you get to the Pugna? I mean, he's still a really big problem in these fights. He's carrying the mech. You know, the Netherward's being super annoying, and he's just blasting non-stop. But you can't. You have to fight your way through RTK first, and he's making that very difficult. And there's also an Alchemist just threatening to, you know, blink in, stun, put himself in the line of fire.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, Brax is going to try and backdoor this tier 1 top lane. There are some TPs coming in. RTK on the hunt. Let's see what he can get here. I think he needs a blind hook, but no, just jams it into the treants. FY still chasing. He's hoping that Brax hasn't TP'd out yet. And it's actually just about to be revealed. Can he interrupt it? He gets it. Super comes in.
Wow.
Brax going to go for the TP again. Can they finish him off? The right clicks will be enough. I really thought he was just going to run up into the trees and TP, but I guess that's maybe the predictable thing to do. So Vici Gaming find him, they kill him. Yeah, nicely done by FY. And there is a buyback on this Prophet, but while he's dead, no pressure on any lanes, and LGD just have to win this team fight if they want to hold this lane of Rax.
I think ROTK is now on a 3-hook spree onto Weaver
Dire's
almost.
top tower
He
is
did
under
get the
attack.
hook onto Prophet earlier when they got that kill, but
Yes.
it seems like Super and ROTK are really thinking alike in how they want to go in. Blocking the hook
Pike
quite a
gets
bit, but here comes the
stunned.
dive.
Super doesn't even care. He's going for Misery. He wants him dead. That's revenge for all of those kills on mid lane to start things off. He's going to be hooked into the Pudge, but just time lapses
Dire's
out.
top barracks are under attack.
Yeah, I really think Super wanted Misery dead there for sure. We do get an arrow on him, but Freedom brought down regardless. Hook was stolen by Fenrir, plucks Pycat out of the fountain into the second hook from RTK. So
Radiant's
Brax killed the
bottom
courier
tower is
again.
under attack.
What?
Dire's top
is that
barracks
three
are under
is that
attack.
3 courier
Dire's
kills
top
in one
barracks
game, or is that just the second
Dire's
one?
top barracks has
Anyway,
fallen.
Black's being stunned up.
He
Got the
hooked the
lead.
Weaver!
Radiant's middle tower is under
And
attack.
Fenrir goes for the big plays hook, trying to anticipate the leap, but doesn't work out. Vici Gaming at this point are camping Fountain. They do lose
Radiant's
FY in the
bottom
process.
tower is
They're only
under
one lane of racks up. Misery's gonna jump in with a Blink Dagger, kill himself on the Nether Ward, but he does still manage to kill RTK. So I think in Misery's mind, worth it at the end of the day. Why not?
Yeah, this is kind of becoming a formality at this point. It looks like Vici are having a little bit of fun as well, and are looking to try to end the game on the next push, I believe. With the kind of dive that Vici could get away with there, it seems like LGD.int, if the fight breaks out, they're probably going to lose it. So their only hope is to split push so hard that Vici can't get into the base. But as mentioned earlier, it's so hard for them to split push because of the threat of ganks that they can't really get out on the map. So not much left to do at this point for LGD. They're going to try to smoke gank.
Poor
See if they can
Brax.
find
I
some
think he
kills,
thought
but
that
instead it's actually going to profit.
Yeah, I thought that he thought that help was on its way. There were smoked heroes, but they don't manage to force a team fight there. Brax just ends up dying. Pycat wants some more hooks. We've still got Rubik with plenty of duration left on this one, so looking forward to some more hooks from Fenrir. Pycat's just going all the way back behind the tower right now. So like you said, I think it is just a bit of a formality at this point. Super spots Freedom. One hit, two hit.
Damage!
He's got a double damage as well, in fairness. Freedom's gonna try and TP out. Does he get it? Just barely.
Nicely played, but getting out of that.
And they managed to spot ZCD as well. Pycat gonna be able to pick up this kill, so... Oh, well, he's got the Force Staff, he's got the Necro Book, he turns around, but Misery still has that Blink Dagger. So he's gonna be able to pick up that kill. The Necro Books are gonna keep on going though, and there's a hook back from Fenrir, interrupts the TP for Misery, lifts him up, goes into the Crystal Nova, so no more hook for him, but is still gonna be able to pick up that kill, and ROTK. The Necro Books tracked down the Pudge, he flies in with the hook shot. Meanwhile, Super with DD solos Roshan.
Radiant's top tower
And
is under attack.
This game
just
is
everywhere
yeah,
doing everything.
What is
apart from
happening?
defending the top tower.
has fallen.
Yeah, Brax gets this top tower at long
Radiant's
last.
middle
He's had a
tower
couple
is
of
under attack.
attempts here. I think 2 of them cost him his life, but yeah, finally gets it. And he's also going to be able to go and pick up his Hex now. So, like, it looks like LGD.int, they're playing chaotically, and it's kind of working, though. I think Vici Gaming could just 5-man, sit behind the Necrobook, and probably win the game at this point.
Yeah, let's see if Black gets out of this. No, he doesn't. He was starting to TP, then he leaps into the tree line, and Fenrir is actually going to find him. But there's no one there to help. Black is now just stuck here for the next 10 seconds, and Fenrir is like, okay, whatever. I'm out of here. I think they could have killed him together with ROTK there if they just chose to go for it, but they're going to just try to make a beeline for the mid now, I think, after killing the Nature's Prophet once again top with the Clockwork.
Yeah, I think they had the Weaver
actually,
and the Clockwork.
why would they kill Black? How's he going to get back to base on time? They saw him using his TP. He has to leap again now. He won't make it. He can't be in the base for this fight.
Yeah, Black, you've got a long trip. He ducks into the side shop. He's going to use his Midas. He ducks back into the side shop. Now he's just hiding in the trees. So hoping to wait out these... Okay, leaping into the trees. Someone else who's leaping in. It's ROTK on top of Misery. He's about to go down to the battery assault. Super with his Deso plus almost Butterfly up is going to be able to kill off the Pudge. And FY, go get stomped down. ROTK looks for another hook. Not going to be able to land it. Black has finally rejoined this fight. Arrow ready to go, but Black has arrived. ROTK almost not dodging out of the way of that arrow. But Super is going to clean up the melee barracks. Fenrir is coming in. They do manage to silence up Black. FY's finished off this Orchid. Brax manages to get the Sprout out. Another buyback from Black, but another lane of Rax about to go down. ROTK gets hexed up, but FY jumps in. Stun's ready to go. He's going to chop Brax to death. Super coming in to help out as well. Earth Splitter from Freedom. Is it going to land on anybody? ROTK trapped within his own cogs. Is going to end up going down. So I think LGD.int, the call was made. Just kill ROTK. And they managed to complete that objective at the very least.
FY is going to stun himself a bit here,
Dyer's
but
middle barracks
actually,
are under
And an arrow.
oh, there we go. They actually do bring down the Pug now, but Super's just way too big on the Weaver here. That's his ultimate ready again now as well.
Misery pops the freezing field. He's just outside the base. There's still an Aegis on the Weaver though, so he's going to be back for revenge. Does get slept. Can Fenrir finish this before Super gets there? No, it's actually ROTK all the way from down the lane. Finishes it off with the Rocket Flare. Second lane of Rax about to go down. Again, this is LGD.int's last game for the last game before the playoffs for this event. So they're gonna make Vici Gaming work for it. But I think and we've got more hooks, but it's just ROTK hooking Super. So it looks like they've heard you, Syndrin, and he's upping that count.
Yeah, I think ROTK, about a quarter of his hooks this game now have been onto Super. But doesn't really matter when he hits the important ones as well. There's one on Freedom. Actually gets out with a 4-staff, but I still think ROTK... No, he's actually overextending here, but still going to survive because he's so incredibly tanky right now. Black uses the Manta style trying to get out Super, meanwhile bringing down Brax once more. Time-lapse is out of the Sprout, and yeah, it's going to be Mega Creeps coming in any minute now, I think. LGD will try to defend, but Pugna with Boots of Travel arrives, and yeah, I think we might finally see the GG now.
Could finally be the end of the series, but not before a couple more arrows. And not before a couple more hooks, I guess. And counter arrow goes out, lands on Freedom. So, excitement all round. Super will be able to pick up this kill. The hook shot flies, but looks like it's blocked along the way. Pyket gets lifted up right outside the safety of his fountain. Tries to pop the Ghost Scepter and actually manages to get the deny. A little bit of luck from him.
Keep getting hook?
I'm not sure.
How is Pyket letting him steal it all the time?
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
So, looks like that's going to be Mega Creeps and likely closing out the game. LGD, do you have any buybacks left? There is one on Freedom, but oh, there we go. Here comes the buyback, but it's just straight into his death. FY gets hooked out of the fountain. Super's going to finish off Brax. Black's in a little bit of trouble as well. Super's just diving. He's got time lapse. Nice Manta from Black. Keeps him alive for the time being. ROTK. Oh, what can he do? They hook him out. Fenrir, nicely done. Lift up. Stunned up as well. And there we go. Game over.
Radiant victory.
So, it got a little bit silly towards the end, but I still think great performance from Vici Gaming. Very nicely done by the stand, and I think a lot of people were worried for their rares when they saw ZCD in the lobby instead of Mikasa. or somebody else, somebody that we weren't familiar with before this game, and likely chat wasn't either, but I think he played very well, and maybe looking forward to seeing more of him in the future. It could be somebody that we know, we just don't recognize the tag. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in for the WPC Ace Dota 2 League group stage coverage. This is our third to last day, only 4 matches to go. I've been Baseskip here on the BTS stream. It's been a pleasure casting for you again. Feedback is at baseskipdota@gmail.com if you'd like to support me at all. It's all under the name of Baseskip. Big thank you to BTS for having me on to cast, and I'm going to pass it over to Synderin, my co-caster, for some closing words, his thoughts, and he can shamelessly plug all of his stream stuff, because I think he's going to go and stream right after this match.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think today, Vici Gaming playing really solidly just outclassed LGD.int. LGD.int showed some good points at times, but just weren't able to capitalize on it in both of the games. And I feel like both games by Vici just won by map control overall. Took a couple of good fights, got the towers, and then it was kind of an easy ride for them after that point. So congratulations to Vici Gaming. And yeah, a little bit of shameless plugging of myself. I'm gonna go over and stream now in a few minutes on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Synderin. I'll be playing some pubs. If you guys feel like tuning in, that would be cool. Apart from that, thank you very much for tuning in. All of my social media stuff, they don't exactly have the same names because of reasons. But you can check them out over on my Twitch page if you're interested. They are right underneath the stream. There's a link to absolutely everything about me there, and there's also being stuff linked in the chat by Anuxi. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the games. And yeah, hope to see some good matches in the playoffs later on. Was this the last group stage game overall, or was it the last group stage game for these two teams?
No, it's the last group stage game for LGD.int. Vici Gaming might have one more to play. There's still 4 games left. So those are Vici versus WPCA, LGD China versus Hearts Get Together, Rising Stars versus Rattlesnake, and IG versus WPCA. So still 4 games left, but I don't believe at this point any of these, aside from IG versus WPCA, can change the overall standings or who's going where. And IG are 99%. Well, I think they're 99% likely to 2-0 that best of 2. So I think at this point we're pretty much all locked up, and it'll just be teams playing their final games.
All right. Well, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, awesome.
And thanks for watching.
I'll hope to see you guys next time. I'll be back for more coverage tomorrow, but you're probably all going to be busy watching MLG with all the BTS guys. There's plenty of extra coverage going on as well, so I think Beataz is doing some stuff. Clairvoyant is going to be on the 3rd stream with Hippie, I believe, from Zyori's stuff. So I think he's also doing some media. I'm not sure. So if anybody's there, I encourage you to go and say hi to the guys, especially if you spot any of the BTS folks. Say hi to them for me. Otherwise, yeah, just enjoy the Dota, guys. That's going to wrap it up, and I hope to see you for future broadcasts.